Good afternoon, everyone. This is RAND, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, June 16, 2024. A little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. When you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. Buddha. Embracing the most spiritual aspect of yourself is the gateway to enlightenment. The realization of your real nature liberates you from the cycle of birth and death, frees you from attachment to the material world and its limitations. The most spiritual you reveals the ultimate truth of existence, providing inner strength and resilience to face life's challenges with raw courage and grace. The most spiritual you is the real you, a reflection of the divine presence within. Recognizing this inherent divinity and capability to manifest anything at will transforms your perception of reality. You live as an infinite being and naturally create a life bubbling with profound spiritual awakenings, deep inner peace, and boundless love. Accessing a constant source of inner peace. Understanding and experiencing the real you brings profound inner peace and contentment because you know that you are death-proof, and your soul will never die. Knowing this, you transcend the fleeting joys and sorrows of the material world. And this inner peace becomes a stable anchor amidst life's challenges and uncertainties. Your existence becomes a solid rock foundation rooted in peacefulness, and everywhere you go, no matter who you're with. Experiencing pure, deep, eternal love. Your true self is the embodiment of the purest, most gentle, deeply eternal love. This automatic teaching shows you how to love yourself and others without attachments, demands, or expectations. This real love fosters only harmonious relationships and rich and juicy interactions with the world around you. You discover that there is an infinite supply of love and compassion for everyone you meet, including yourself. Realizing your infinite nature, you see how your consciousness is connected with universal consciousness. This connection naturally fosters a profound sense of oneness with this universe that transcends duality and all levels of human suffering. You can summon even a deeper empathy and compassion towards all living beings by feeling this state of oneness as your foundation to perpetual inner peace. Your spiritual self embodies a timeless, effervescent wisdom that stems from the omniscient divine self. This knowingness naturally guides you towards a deeper meaning of this life beyond superficial desires, 3D knowledge, and materialistic pursuits. This level of wisdom offers the highest clarity in decision-making because you have a spiritual coherence of your life's purpose. You can clearly see and align with the highest destiny you were always meant to create. Through one glance of your spiritual self, you instantly recognize your infinite potential. You are reminded that you are not limited by physical, emotional, or mental constraints. This insight empowers you to explore new possibilities and embrace personal growth without fear or hesitation. You know you are an infinite being, and there is nothing you cannot do, think, or achieve. Everything is possible for you to do in this life. The spiritual source within you is the inner light that illuminates your path. If you ever feel lost in this life, it's simply because you're unaware of your infinite spiritual light. This radiant brilliance guides you from within through life's challenges, providing you with clarity and insight. The light shows you the easiest, most effortless way to create what your soul is yearning to discover. This great light creates a sense of warmth, healing, and comfort, making your entire lifespan on Earth a safe, enjoyable experience. Connecting with your true self is what annihilates the ego. Like the hot summer sun quickly melts snow, the protective, defensive, righteous ego cannot remain intact in the warmth of this deep, eternal love. All of the ego's fears and conflicts fall away when the divine self is seen. All the ego's fears and conflicts fall away when the divine self is seen. The freedom discovered promotes humility, compassion, unity with all beings. You naturally transcend ego-driven desires, and you live authentically in harmony with yourself and others. The real you is the core of your existence. It is that which is beyond all perceptions of the physical body and mind. The real you is also beyond the watcher, the witnesser, and the seer who perceives reality. It is pure, untainted consciousness that always remains silent, alert, and unaffected by external changes. Recognizing this truth allows you to navigate through life with unwavering clarity, authenticity, and freedom. Perpetual eternal bliss. Imagine that. Now, who wouldn't want that? The experience of our true spiritual self brings about a state of bliss independent of external circumstances. This inner bliss radiates from the God source, uplifting those around you, creating a positive ripple effect in your environment. This effulgent bliss is the state of pure beingness, a quality that is never separate from it. You cannot help but walk, eat, and live in pure joy because you can feel the infinite spiritual source radiating through you. Feeling unstoppable inner strength, realizing your spiritual self, provides a connection with immense inner strength and resilience. You feel empowered to face any of this life's challenges with curiosity and courage. This spiritual strength is also a source of lightheartedness, laughter, and tenacity to endure. It enables you to overcome any obstacle and reach your highest life purpose however you wish. Knowing your divine presence, your most spiritual you, is the holiest presence in this universe. reminding you of your inherent divinity and capability to manifest anything you desire. It is the same sacred presence found in Jesus, Buddha, Mother Mary, and every enlightened master that has ever existed. This presence contains the highest virtues and values, making you free from whatever self-sabotaging patterns that you may have adopted. This awareness fosters a sense of reverence, gratitude for life, as you recognize that divine sacredness is inherent in every moment and every interaction. How many of us are living the ultimate truth? Our spiritual self is our real self, and our ego, with its endless search of desires, is the false self. Seeing these opposites within you is necessary to be able to know the ultimate truth of this universe. We cannot know what is real until we can see what is false. This understanding of the ultimate truth embodies the purest reality beyond all dualities and illusions. This truth liberates us from the constraints of societal conditioning, media programming, religious dogma, righteous bigotry. As the wise ones have said, the truth shall set you free. Knowing your infinite nature allows you to know the truth of existence, giving the gift of perceiving all dimensions of past, present, and future with absolute clarity. Realizing your true spiritual nature offers total liberation from the material world and all of its limitations. Knowing that your essence is eternal and connected to the infinite cosmos brings instant peace and serenity. It is this inner peace which transcends the cycle of suffering. You stop looking for freedom because you realize who you are is the source of freedom itself. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung. You don't have to believe or convince yourself of anything new to awaken this real you. You make the time to look inward perpetually. See what is at the source of you. What's behind your conscious awareness, beneath each thought? Purely seeing beyond the veil of the mind, you can perceive your spiritual essence. This direct looking is the quickest path to discovering it. You may search for the self in the outer world for lifetimes. You may travel the world and the internet seeking the latest enlightened guru, yet ultimately nobody can show you the divine truth of who and what you are. It is a direct experience inside you. This is something so sacred and powerful that you can only discover it for yourself. This universe will guide you, always pointing you back in this direction. This world is a gigantic mirror to help you awaken and reflect the truth to you. Trust the one who is innocently looking and purely seeing. By trusting in the purity of your perception, you allow your ultimate truth to reveal itself naturally. When you keep your mind open and curious about seeing your spiritual nature, the blinding veils of the mind begin to dissolve. This constant open mind directed only inwards, must reveal your spiritual nature to you in time. It has no other choice. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. Carl Jung. Looking within towards the infinite self is the only path to permanently dissolve the ego and experience true liberation in this life. It is a rebellious path, not easy for those who like their comfort zone. Joy, yet the rewards are big. You get to live a life of overflowing with ecstatic bliss, joy, and enlightenment, perceptions of reality. There is no greater mission to have than to realize who you truly are on your epic journey of discovery. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. By understanding your connection to the highest consciousness, you create a transformative relationship with this entire universe. This path dissolves the ego, offering true liberation and a life overflowing with ecstatic joy. I encourage you to make some time this week to sit with yourself in contemplation of the spiritual roots of your infinite divine essence. This exploration will take some time, yet remember, it is only the ego that is impatient for results. Soul is eternal, always patient with whatever the outcome may be. The exploration will eventually bring about the most profound inner peace you've ever experienced. And the moment you discover your core spiritual essence, you have taken the first step towards enlightenment. All of this is kind of like you're navigating, and as you navigate, you get like sections of a roadmap, right? So you come across one piece of the roadmap, and then it tells you where to go. You follow it, and then that takes you to another piece, another piece, another piece. This eventually leads you to full discovery of who you are within that body. Now, a lot of us choose to ignore it and not even touch or go there. Why would that be? Well, number one, the ego mind doesn't care to have you discover who and what you are. Because it knows that that's its immortality. That's the end of it. So it'll do anything it can, period, to keep you from literally discovering that you're the God. You always have been. You always will be. It's kind of a rediscovery. And as you've heard me say over and over again, is that the prime example of retraining yourself is in conversation how many times we say that we don't want something. Don't want this to happen, don't want that to happen, don't want this to take place, don't want that. But what happens when we do that? See, many of us are continuously sending out a strong emotional thought of, I really don't want X, Y, Z to happen. And I hear this a lot. Not a little bit, a whole heck of a lot. And somehow when we do that, we only attract that thing or situation into our life. Why is that? I mean, if you say that you don't want something to happen, you're saying you don't want it to happen, right? Why does it work that way? Why is it this way? Now, if we are truly super powerful, highly intelligent manifesting beings, why do we create something that we do not want to occur? Makes sense, right? There may be a variety of explanations for this, yet the most foundational reasoning is this: whatever we resist will persist. It is a paradoxical world we live in, and the key to transcending it is embracing the totality of existence, which means resisting nothing in this universe. This is the only way to master your life. Start today with finding peace with what you cannot. Every time, right, or any time, that any of us throw up an energetic or emotional wall and start resisting something, whether it's a thought, feeling, memory, or that person standing in front of you, that being, you'll find that your mind is fiercely focusing upon the negative aspects of what you don't want, instead of the positive possibilities of what you do want. Now, do we do it on purpose? No. No, we don't do it on purpose, because we believe that by saying that, emitting that frequency, that it's not going to happen. But you're focused on it. Vibrationally, all of us are literally like super magnets and only attract that which we continuously focus upon with great emotion. So if you can stop focusing upon something, you will stop resisting it and thus stop manifesting it. To control the mind takes great awareness, patience, and love. It also takes knowing your true divine infinite nature that fears absolutely nothing. For as divine beings, we've all set it up so that every little thing that we focus on grows, expands, and returns to us naturally like a boomerang. Now, we cannot get rid of our inherent manifesting magnet nature. Now, if and when you could choose somehow to train your mind to obsessively resist feelings of joy, love, abundance, and gratitude, it'd be a roundabout way. Yet, you'd soon start finding those qualities showing up all throughout your life. Where does this resistance come from? Right? Well, it's good to know that all resistance comes from fear of something else. If you can discover what you're truly afraid of and welcome it in with open arms, then all resistance to this life will dissolve instantly. When we no longer resist that one being You know, the one that always triggers you? Then we have just found a new way to love and appreciate them. It all happens the moment we see how everything is connected to the divine. It's easy to resist nothing when all you see is God. When you realize that everyone also has the divine infinite nature you have, no other choice than acceptance. The day you have no resistance to the understanding that everyone, even Hitler, is a divine being connected to the God source, you'll have truly transcended all future suffering. The experience of total fear and being lost in love are the two greatest resistances people have. Since going completely into either one would absolutely obliterate your ego. Perhaps you noticed that this resistance habit in your love life or your family relationships. You might have discovered that when you start thinking about something is wrong about somebody or believe that they should be different, your body contracts and goes into resistance mode. This internal rejection of this life is a ridiculous attempt to protect the ego so that it can remain in illusionary control of its agenda and remain in complete ignorance of your divine infinite nature. It's good to know that all your problems in this lifetime are going to be created out of this simple resistance to your innate divinity. Once we stop resisting the infinite God source inside of us, we will understand the role the ego had to play in order to trick us into discovering our true nature. You see, the ego was never real in the first place. It was just a shadow created from your mind standing in the way of your infinite light. As with any shadow, you'll realize that the closer you get to it, the easier it is to see that there is nothing actually there. Now, this may be a frightening discovery, to realize that you don't actually exist at all. And when your mind ego is no longer running the show, you'll be living in bliss 24 hours a day. Isn't it time you've transcended this intricate weave of limiting beliefs which have been blocking the brilliant light of your own infinite being for far too long? As long as you are identified with your ego, you will continue to react with resistance to people, situations, and conditions that have triggered you since childhood. For example, let's say that someone teases you, makes fun of you in front of all your friends. Good to remember that nobody is under attack. How in the heck can any of us attack a shadow? Why would a shadow need to feel victimized, blamed, or fight back if it is not even real to begin with? All of our problems arise from the over-identification with this shadow self. Always remember, it's the only thing that is not real. Your name, body, thoughts, feelings, and overall identity have absolutely nothing to do with who you truly are. This fragmented false self is a figment of our imagination. It will always pale in comparison to the all creative, vast resource of our limitless being. The ego will always be a juicy interpretation about who you think you are, yet it is right. It's light leagues away from the infinite truth of your being. The day we anchor in this knowing of who we are, what our ego is, it will become the first day of your life that you are not blind, yet can actually see. The great wall blocking every human being from seeing their divine nature is the same. It's that barricade of beliefs which have accumulated around the mind from past programming. All the memories, ideologies, rules about this life, which we've created for ourselves growing up, can often behave like waves in the ocean created years ago. And yet are still continuously arriving at our shore. These unconscious reactions attempt to resurface each day until we've sailed through the core of each one with a laser-like awareness and have seen it for what it actually is, a thought. Yet, be careful. These waves can be dangerous because they just might throw you into an emotional tide pool swirling around Drama Island for the next 30 lifetimes. That's right, I said 30 lifetimes. With such a devastating effect always at hand, our past conditioning must have a positive role to play as well. It is always here, forcing our awareness to remain super alert and conscious so we are enjoying each new moment. It'll be you, right? It'll keep you sane to know that your soul is signed up for this experience of body-mind programming so that one day you would be forced into mastering your mind. And when it comes down to whatever you resist will persist, the mind is already the greatest master at this. And the mind will do everything to not follow your lead until it realizes that you no longer are going to participate in its games. And this new relationship with the mind can be formed by diving into those places in your body that are still holding on to resistance and tension. Your body's like a graveyard of past experiences that are still resisting certain memories, people from the past, or aspects of your life. Your body is designed to hold on to a specific physical tension until the memory associated with it is cleared. For example, and I say this a lot because it's really important, if your shoulders tense up each time you think about a certain being or situation at work, you want to ask your shoulders as if they could talk. What specific memory are they holding tightly onto? When you stop and ask certain parts of your body what they are really holding onto, it becomes a type of archaeological expedition where you get to discover all the most interesting artifacts inside. Who knew the exploration of resistance could be so exciting? You can transcend any physical pain or issue your body is having by simply going into the experience, exploring what the memory is, and releasing from your body with your breath. You can transcend any physical pain or issue your body is having by simply going into the experience, exploring what the memory is, and releasing it from your body with your health, your breath. Your breath is always the gateway to healing. If it's a big trauma lodged in your body for years, you may first need to spend more time than usual to feel it deeply so you can release it completely. You'll know it's gone from your cells when you can regurgitate the memory and nothing shows up in your mind. The secret is feeling your greatest fear that is hiding underneath your resistance to the fear. Now, this may sound complex to some, yet do not stop when you hit resistance to feeling past trauma inside. Dive into the memory, explore the thoughts and feelings around it several times. Go deeper than it, and go through it with the power of surrender. Eventually, you will find that underneath it all is the presence of your eternal being. Once you can surrender through every emotional blockade and find the river of consciousness that penetrates you and surrounds you, you will be free, healed. On the most profound levels. When you discover how to free up your body from all its tension and resistance to life, to this life, you will have the power to manifest just about anything you can fathom. By completely releasing the fear trapped in your cells, you regain access to the supernatural power inside yourself. You'll have a greater appreciation for life and a deeper understanding of yourself, as well as how to step through any tense experience that arises. By completely releasing the fear trapped in your cells, you will regain access to that supernatural power inside yourself. You'll have a greater appreciation for this life, a deeper understanding of yourself, as well as how to step through any tense experience that arises. Truly is amazing. All the intricate complexities that we create inside ourselves just so that we have an entertaining ride home. Life is here to be explored and experienced on every level. It is like a grand buffet of 10,000 delicious main courses where hesitation, doubt, fear, and resistance are also meals on the list that our soul gets to taste, devour, and transcend. How else could we know our all-expansive true nature unless there was something small and contracted to push us down so that later we could happily let it go and say, ah. The release of your body's tension caused by resistance gives the ego the sensation of freedom and happiness. It's like a great orgasm that you really had to work hard to attain. Once you discovered the secret of relaxing the body while enjoying the uphill ride, you'll soon find yourself arriving in the land of absolute bliss. Join in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. An easy and slow breath out through the mouth. Remain still. You're always on the right track. You believe that you are worthy of having something big. The credibility of that belief will tend to fluctuate. It's just like riding a roller coaster. In the morning, you were going up. In the afternoon, you're sailing straight down. So don't get too attached to where you think you should be on the track. Your job in this life is simply to remove your white-knuckled grip from those sticky handlebars, sit way back in your power chair, and totally enjoy this wild ride. Life is supposed to be this way. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We'll return here, June 17, 2024. Well, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Being the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. Open your heart. Let the magic flow in.